Hi, this is Trent from Speak2Read. I'm a speech-language pathologist, and I wanted to share a story. Earlier this week, I was talking to one of my friends about a lot of the kids that I work with and how, they show up in grade 1 or grade 2 and they start having a lot of difficulty with reading and especially with spelling, and how that means that almost always there is a deficit in speech and language that's underlying that. My friend said, okay, well, what about take me for example? I have no troubles with speaking, I have no troubles with language, but I can't spell worth a hot damn. So how do you explain that? And I thought about that for a minute and I said, well, when you were a kid, did you start talking right away or were you a little bit late? He said, yeah, no, I was a little bit late. I was late getting my first words and late putting sentences together. And I said, when you were a kid, were there any words that were difficult for you to say? And he said, yeah, my parents told me, they teased me about some of these words I used to say kind of funny. I didn't see a speech-language pathologist, but I did have some things in my speech. And I said, yeah, and that's quite typical, is that we do see that there's a speech-language delay or speech-language difficulty, and it doesn't always manifest as a problem or need to get fixed by a speech pathologist, but it's there, kind of like the body of the iceberg that hides under the water. And so he was interested to learn that he may have actually had a bit of an underdevelopment in the speech or the language system. And it usually is in the speech system that we'll see a little bit of underdevelopment or underactivation. So he was intrigued by that. And I think the other thing, though, that I pointed out to him was that for some kids, what they do is they learn compensation strategies. They learn to become overly reliant on their visual memory, or on using their whole word recognition, using the meaning of words and understanding words, that they don't actually have to decode or sound them out or use those sounds. There's ways that the brain can activate other areas that it is stronger with, and it can overcompensate, but there usually will be some red flags or some clues that show up that we can find and see where those systems are maybe a little bit underdeveloped. And the other thing that can happen in the case of people like my friend who maybe have trouble spelling is they may actually have intact speech and language skills, but they've never really been never been taught how to apply them. They've never gotten the explicit instruction about how to leverage speech and language into literacy tasks such as spelling. So even though they might have the foundational skills, they actually don't know how to use them, how to leverage them, and how to apply them. So that's where really looking through assessment to figure out how they're processing, what skills they're using, what techniques and tips and strategies they're using when they're in the process of reading and spelling. And then from there, making a learning plan to teach them some new strategies that they can actually apply so that they can use their intact speech and language skills and be that much more successful and that much more accurate. So I wanted to relate that. Took a little break from driving today just to share that with you. Stay warm out there. Thanks. Bye-bye.